to extend a big congratulations to Crosby and Soccer Girls from County Clare, who are under 12 Cup winners for 2021.
Testing, 1, 2, testing. Testing, 1, 2, testing.
Put it down? Yeah. 2 and 4.
Again. 1, 2, 1, Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Turn down again.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing from the Markets Field 3 2 1.
Try it again there.
Welcome to this afternoon's UEFA Women's Under-19 European Qualifiers first phase fixture
Tiny bit
between the
more.
Republic of Ireland and England. Please put your hands together for England and the Republic of Ireland. Please rise for the national anthem of England. And now the national anthem of the Republic of Ireland.
Well, a very good evening to you from the heart of Limerick City for this evening's European Under-19 Championship Qualifier game between the Republic of Ireland and England. The national anthems are done. We'll take you through the starting lineups in a couple of moments. But just earlier today, Switzerland have beaten Northern Ireland by 3-1 in this group. And with both those sides to face tonight's two sides in the coming days, that indeed reflects the seedings. With Switzerland the top seeds coming into this 4-team tournament. I'm joined this evening and delighted to say by Mike McCarthy, coach with Treaty United. And Mike, as always, what you look out on is a fantastic pitch. There'll be no excuses tonight. Two fine footballing sides, and we're expecting a belter.
No excuses is right, Mike. Anything that we've played against so far this year on the surface has remarked that if you can't play football here, where can you play it? And a night like tonight, it's clear and the grass is a little bit wet. There's a big crowd coming in, so we're looking forward to a good game.
Yeah, fine crowd in tonight. The stand is at least half full. It takes 1,500, so there's at least 700 in that stand. as we look across. We're on our own, fairly isolated on the popular side of the Marketsfield Stadium. Pitch is resplendent, national anthems are done, and we'll take you through the starting lineups for this European Women's Under-19 Championship game. And of course the championships themselves take place next year, so it's all about qualifying here in Limerick over the next 6 or 7 days. The Republic of Ireland will favour playing here at the Marketsfield, and tonight they'll need to get off to a start which should not be a losing start, and that will keep their interest going certainly into the Swiss game, and they finish against Northern Ireland. So the Republic start with number 1 Rugile Ascalante in goals. Therese Kennevy plays in number 2. Shauna Brennan is number 3. Captain wearing number 4 is Della Doherty. 5 Jessie Stapleton, who featured with Shelburne here in Limerick at the weekend. Muireann Devaney wears 6. Former treaty player now with Connecticut, Aoife Horgan wears number 7. Kate Slevin is in the number 8 shirt. Rebecca Watkins wearing number 9. Ellen Malloy, such a prolific goal scorer in the Women's National League this season, wears number 10. And Kerry-Ann Brown makes up the starting 11, wearing number 11. England start with goalkeeper number 1 Ciara Keating. Number 2 is Joria Fox. Number 3 Lucy Parry. Number 4 Charlotte Wardlaw. 5 Ruby Mace. 7 Agnes Beaver Jones. 8 and captaining the side Maisie Simmons. 9 Lucy Watson. 11 Freya Gregory. 12 Tara Byrne, and number 14 Lucia Kendall. The Republic of Ireland expected to line out 5-2-3 in this formation this evening. Watkins will certainly spearhead the attack. Mike, let's call this one nice and early before a ball is kicked. Republic of Ireland underdogs at home.
Underdogs is right, Mike. When your third season in the group, you're going to be up against it, and no better way really to set your marker early in the group stages than playing England at home, the top seeds.
Yeah, England get us underway in this evening's game, and an early touch for Ruby Mace at the heart of the defence tonight. England certainly looked very sharp in the warm-up this evening. In particular, Jorga Fox, who'll be playing down this right-hand side, was fizzing in a lot of crosses to their strikers in the warm-up. Republic of Ireland get their first touch and loft the ball long. It'll be Watkins chasing down the play, but quickly tidied up back there. Ruby Mace getting it back to her keeper, Ciara Keating, and again England will build from the back. Across there on the left-hand side is Tara Byrne. Byrne looks up. Again Ireland with just one player up top. We're not expecting anything serious by Ireland giving up opportunities going in reverse this evening at the back, because you can look very early, Mike, and it's very much defensive minded from Dave Connell.
It looks defensive from there from the start there, right? A nice little mid block. You can see the striker Watkins isn't pressing too high. They're keeping a nice compact unit between the lines and not letting England play through, and hopefully it'll pay dividends when we win the ball back and we can break quickly.
Yeah, Ireland with defending to do back there with Shauna Brennan. She does it adequately, and that'll be a goal kick and the first opportunity of the evening for Rugile Ascalante to get into the action. And again, you're looking out on a pitch perfect conditions, a fantastic night for football. The rain came early in Limerick this morning. It certainly helped with the way the ball will fizz about for tonight's game, and it's certainly a wonderful night. Big crowd in as Limerick welcomes the European Under-19 Championship Qualifiers this evening to the Marketsfield Stadium. Ball in midfield, it's won by England, and Beaver Jones leaves it off to Maisie Simmons. Simmons, the captain, playing a leading role, bursts forward now. She's at the edge of the box, strikes, and that's well defended by Ireland at the edge of their own box, but Beaver Jones picks it up, loses it just as quick, and Lucia Kendall comes in and picks up possession for England. They're going to put a good ball into the box, well dealt with by Jessie Stapleton, the Shelburne star, dealing with the first real threat from England out wide. They still got it with Lucy Parry, and they look for a throw, but it won't be awarded in favour of the English, and that will go to Ireland. And the referee for this evening, Zulima Gonzalez, they're so good she named herself twice, certainly endearing herself to the home support with an early throw awarded to Ireland, which both sides contested. Very much both sides settling into the game early.
Settling into the game really early. Really impressed with the two fullbacks from Ireland so far, Kennevy and Brennan. Kennevy probably an unsung hero of that little defensive movement from Ireland. A nice little interception early on, settled them down, and the same Brennan on the left hand side, settling really early, a couple of good clearances, and look, hopefully it's a sign of good things to come.
Tara Byrne on the ball, switches now to Ruby Mace down this right hand side. England probing both sides so far. Joria Fox getting in down the right hand side. She looks beyond her to Beaver Jones. Beaver Jones loses the ball but tries to get it back. Lovely touch there by Fox. Beaver Jones with a good cross. A little bit of a second attempt before Escalante gets her grasp of the ball there, but did well positioned at their front post and tries to get Ireland on the front foot. This is clearly a tactic by Ireland to hit a long ball early and losing out on this occasion. Rebecca Watkins quickly snuffed out and strangled really by the England defence there, and a good first touch now for Ciara Keating on the ground as she plays the ball back out to Parry. And you could see there very early, Mike, Ireland's game plan is to really soak up the pressure but hit England on the break.
And hitting Watkins, look, hopefully it will pay dividends. She was 1v1, it turned into a 2v1 very, very quickly there. With a little bit of a lighter touch, she could have gotten a little bit quicker, and goes without saying, Mike, she needs a bit of support up there as well.
Watson retrieves the ball for England on the far side. They'll start again now from 35 yards out. Well dealt with back there by Shauna Brennan. Brennan looks up, finds an Irish shirt, and Ireland now for the first time can break through Mirren Devaney. Devaney looking for the ever-willing runner and Rebecca Watkins. Watkins will make that 40 yards out from goal. No real support with her at the moment, so she's going to have to hold it up, and does well, and goes back into the centre to Devaney, who's followed up her pass there. Ireland going back rather than forward, with Captain Della Doherty getting a touch. They look out wide on the right to Aoife Horgan, who we know is a fantastic wing player. She doesn't get a good first touch, and that ball goes out for a throw on the far side, and inevitably England will take the patient build up and play the football here, and they're being left to play the football. Would you be concerned that Ireland are giving them a bit too much respect?
I think in the opening 15-20 minutes maybe it's important really to get a feel for the game. I think Ireland are doing that. They haven't really hurt Ireland bar one chance across from the right hand side. I'd like to see Kerry-Ann Brown, I'd like to see Aoife Horgan get into the game a little bit more, maybe by making diagonal runs inside to support Rebecca Watkins, but for now you'd be happy enough to let them have it and maybe play off those direct balls that are coming into Rebecca early on.
Good first clearance by Jessie Stapleton off her left foot on this occasion. England do return it with interest, but out over the throw line from Ruby Mace, and Ireland now have a throw down this near side. Shauna Brennan has heavily been involved. A good challenge by Devaney there, a tough challenge. She's holding her back, but England's Agnes Beaver-Jones gets up nice and quickly after shirking that challenge and has won a throw for England 15 yards inside the Irish half. They again raid down the right hand side. They look now for their captain Maisie Simmons. Ball from Simmons isn't great, but England pick up the loose ball just as quick, and Tara Byrne has it again, finding the ever willing Ruby Mace to her right hand side. England certainly not afraid to probe both sides, and a wonderful crossfield ball now from England has got them in on the left hand side. Mace's delivery superbly controlled, and England will build in the middle, but they've lost it now. Good pressing by Ireland, and Ellen Malloy in particular twists and turns and manages to buy herself enough time and space to find Brennan on this left hand side. Cuts back inside, does well to evade the challenge of Beaver-Jones, and she looks up now to find Malloy running forward again. Malloy has to go back on this occasion. Not too many options as Ireland look up, and again they're quite happy maybe just to enjoy a bit of possession with Kerry-Ann Brown now, and Ireland very much enjoying their first real spell of having the ball fouled surely, and Gonzalez, the referee, quickly goes to the whistle there and awards the free kick to Jessie Stapleton, who was fouled, and fouled from behind there by Lucy Watson. And Ireland just starting to settle a little bit better now.
They're setting a little bit better. Kerry-Ann Brown is getting on the ball a little bit more. It's playing quite narrow when we have it, which may be applied from Dave Connell. Again, like we said, we'd like to see her and Aoife Horgan a little bit higher up the pitch supporting Rebecca Watkins. Also Ella Malloy, a lot been spoken about her over the last couple of months in the Women's National League. So again, fingers crossed, get her on the ball and we can see what we can make happen.
England not afraid to go back to where it all begins with their goalkeeper Ciara Keating. She takes a touch out to the edge of the box to Ruby Mace. She's traded a plethora of passes so far with Tara Byrne, and this time England will probe down the left where Freya Gregory has had a good start, but they don't find a player with this pass, and Ireland will just get a breather into the defensive unit there as they win a throw on the far side to be taken by Trace Kennevy. She launches the ball high, looking again for the one target player, which is Rebecca Watkins. Ball doesn't fall to an Irish shirt, but it does on the seconds, and Ireland build now down the left hand side where they've had most of their play so far as Shauna Brennan goes on the overlap, left footed. She's up against two England players on this near side, cuts inside onto her right boot, gets a strike across goal, well dealt with by the English defence and tidied up by Yoria Fox, as England now still have a bit of defending to do. Ruby Mace comes across, and Mace lost a great ball down the line where they look for Lucy Watson with a heavy touch. It's out over the touchline, and that was really Ireland's first foray into English territory. Again, they need more numbers to get forward.
Big pitch, Mike, really big pitch, and made really good use of the width there. When you can see Shauna Brennan breaking into the box, not afraid to take people on and taking a shot. That was a chance. I love the little counter press after we lost it, after it went wide. We didn't just let it die and let England have it. It was a nice little counter press. I'd like to see us win the ball a little bit higher up the pitch in those instances.
Yeah, and England just did it there to Lucia Kendall, and she went out to the left hand side. Freya Gregory happy to go back as England build going forward now with Charlotte Wardlaw. She's been busy so far wearing number 4 and not playing centre half. She's in the centre midfield, and she's been a real dynamic force for England in the opening 8 minutes. It's scoreless if you're just joining us here. Republic of Ireland and England in the Under-19 qualifiers. Second touch of the evening, and a good touch for Ascalante as she comes out, and everybody knows it's great when a keeper just takes the pressure off, and great confidence in her now for the rest of the game.
It is, and it's her second or third time doing it tonight. It's been great. I'd be a little bit concerned with Lucy Watson dropping deep from England. She's dropping into those little mid spaces between our back 4 and our central midfield players. I'd like to see her kind of locked up a little bit more so that we don't allow her to get easy access to the football.
Mace with a touch into midfield, nice touch back to her there, and England very, very patient in their build up again. Those two players have been trading passes all night, Tara Byrne and Ruby Mace, and inevitably one goes for the big diag. This time it was Mace, but again Gregory can't get on it on the far side, and it easily goes out for an Irish throw, which they're quite happy to take and enjoyed their own little spell of football now. Great switch now by Ireland. Can they get something going down the left hand side with Kerry-Ann Brown? Brown has the ever willing runner, and Shauna Brennan gone ahead of her. Brennan might just get on the end of this as the ball is lofted over the England defence. Good tracking back by Agnes Beaver-Jones, and Jones goes back to her keeper Keating. Keating right-footed relieves the danger, and again Ireland happy to just soak up the pressure as England fire the ball forward. Enough players back to deal with that situation, but again there's good neat build-up play, particularly down Ireland's left-hand side. We haven't seen Aoife Horgan feature on the right, but certainly Shauna Brennan has got plenty of football down the left going forward.
Really good start from Shauna so far. She's been solid in defence but also getting forward. The first run she made was on the overlap, the second one was a little bit more narrow on the inside, but both times she put the English defence under real pressure. Great to see Ellen Malloy press the ball as well. Didn't just let England have it. So again, a lot to build on.
Yeah, Ireland are pressing in the right passages of play here, and this is one that they'll try and break up in the England half. Unfortunately, Aoife Horgan got too far ahead of the play there, but she races across to the far side, puts the pressure on, and I think this is where Ireland are just happy for England to have it. 18 yards inside the box, and then the press begins, and it's stemming from Rebecca Watkins. She forces the first press, and then every Ireland player follows in, and just like that, the Watkins press, and it forces the mistake from Mace, and Dave Connell will be very happy with the opening 11 minutes.
He'll be really happy with it. The pressing from the front, the decision making from Rebecca Watkins has been excellent so far. She's not tiring herself out too much. She's keeping her shape, making sure the players behind her are doing the same, but winning the ball back.
Ireland now, yes, finally can build down the right hand side with Horgan, because she will keep this one in. She's up against Lucy Parry, and I've given her the commentator's curse, because just as she got control of it, she lost it just as quick, and that's gone out for a throw on the far side. And I think the crowd were building an expectation there for Aoife just to open the legs and have a run at the England defence.
Aoife, such a quick player. It's clear England must have done their homework on her. They've starved her of possession. We'd like to see her get on it. We'd like to see her run out a couple of players. We'd like to see her play into space too, because she can finish as well.
England now back down this right hand side. Beaver-Jones does well, turns inside, looks for the through ball. Great run by Lucy Watson. Ireland again defend well with Stapleton. Now down this near hand side with Brown. Brown elects to go across the pitch on this occasion. Again, chances of going forward are limited because just two players to aim it, but Aoife Horgan gets there and now releases Ireland going forward with Captain May, I should say Kate Slevin. Slevin with her first real involvement on that far side doesn't again find an Ireland shirt. She was looking for Ellen Malloy, but England again strangling Ireland when they're in possession, quick to close down, and they have certainly done their homework on this Irish attack, who haven't had a chance yet on target. But in saying that, Mike, it hasn't been a game of chances so far. Neither keeper really extended.
Not so far, none really, bar the two chances that the Irish keeper managed to gather herself. We haven't really tested the English keeper so far. Nice bit of rotation there in that particular defensive motion where Watkins came out to the left and let Kerry-Ann Brown go for the ball. It's nice to see that little bit of communication between the players. If it confuses the English, then all the better.
England again with Mace, and she goes across to Tara Byrne. Byrne again to Mace, and she'll elect now to hit that diag, you would think, because that's what England have looked at throughout so far. But as she looks forward, she doesn't see the options, so she hands it back to Tara Byrne, who goes down the centre. Good from England, and it's neat and it's intricate, and they're looking to get in behind Ireland now down the right hand side with Beaver-Jones. Again, good defending by Shauna Brennan. That's turning in to be the tussle of the night so far.
So far it is, yeah, it is. Really, there's nothing between the two. England fashioning a little chance from here. It's gone over the bar, but again, like we said, playing through the lines the way Ireland have set up defensively. They've dropped off. They're not letting anybody play it through, but when England do, Ireland a little bit static, maybe a little bit more communication between the back four and the midfield too, but so far we're limiting them.
Yeah, Lucia Kendall with that opportunity. I don't think she wanted it really on her left because she hit it high and handsome and over the bar as the Irish keeper Escalante just looked at it going 15 yards over the bar, but nonetheless England will see that as good, neat build-up play, eventually culminating in a shot, but it was well off target. England very quickly again to get the ball back. You would say 70-30 possession-wise so far in favour of the English, who again go forward with Mace into the centre where she's got Charlotte Wardlaw. Switches now to Byrne out the left-hand side. Again, England given plenty of time, and you're just waiting for Watkins to trigger the press here for Ireland. Ireland quite happy though to have everybody bar Watkins inside their own half. They're very much limiting England to forcing them to crossfield passes so far when England do try and venture into the Irish half. Let's see now what Mace can do with another crossfield pass. She's just putting a bit too much on them, but you feel if she gets one right, England have got loads of space on that far side.
She's definitely got it in her locker, and I have been impressed with the way the back four for Ireland have set themselves up, especially for those diagonal balls. There's no pressure on the ball. You have to drop a little bit deeper. They've dealt with them. It's been great. Mention as well for Della Doherty, dropped in when Lucy Watson dropped deep to get the ball. She followed her in. They've made a decision on that. It's good to see.
Oh, Fox loses possession for England, and now again it's the ever-willing Brennan. She's had so much of the ball for Ireland so far, and she's found Watkins for the umpteenth time tonight. Watkins does well to turn back on her favoured right boot, looking up, wearing 9. She's only got 2 options ahead of her, and she elects just to slow down the play to involve more Ireland players here. Good touch there by Kerry-Ann Brown. Brown out the left-hand side now. We've got again Brennan going forward, left foot and back onto the right now. It's a chance across the box, and this one's taking a deflection. It's wide of the far post. I'm sure it was a cross, but so often in the game you see those ones going past the keeper off a deflection. She hasn't given a corner, but from our vantage point it was a clear corner kick to Ireland.
Looked like a corner to me, Mick. Again, you see Brennan getting on the ball really early. Again, when you see Rebecca Watkins getting on the ball, she's one-on-one with the defender who's out of position. You'd like to see her take her on. You'd like to see Kellyanne on the overlap as well. I think there's chances here.
Well, that's Ireland's first real opening of the evening. It comes in the 16th minute of the game. It's still the Republic of Ireland 0, England 0. Chances few and far between. England enjoying the lion's share of possession on their trip over to Ireland, and in particular to Limerick, where they'll be situated over the next week. Ireland face Switzerland at the weekend. We'll stay with this as England try and go forward. Great covering tackle by Stapleton. The crowd appreciated that one. England looking to get their captain Maisie Simmons in there. Great reading of the game by the Shelbourne Star.
Really good, and a great start by the 2 centre backs for Ireland between Della Doherty and Jessie Stapleton. They've been solid. They've dealt with everything England had thrown at them. Again, it's been a really good start from those 2.
A good defending now by Therese Kinevy, who manages to clear the danger. England again probing now down the left hand side. They'll take their time with the throw. Lucy Parry on the far side throws it inside, and again they're looking to get Maisie Simmons on it. Ireland quick to snuff out the danger as soon as England get anywhere near the edge of the box. England low ball now in again to Simmons. Now England look to go forward inside the box. Will they get an opportunity to get a shot on goal? Instead to go back out to the left hand side to Gregory to the back post. Super defending, and great counter challenging by the Irish at the back post. And I'll tell you what, Brennan has been brilliant going forward for Ireland, but on this occasion she did sterling work at the back post, and that had goal written all over it. 2 England opportunities, and wonderful defending by first of all Brennan, and certainly Stapleton put her body on the line for the second.
Superb, absolutely superb. Just unlucky now to be caught offside. Aoife Horgan on the far side, but on this near side with Shauna Brennan, excellent covering tackle, exactly what you want from your defenders, getting back, bodies on the line, making sure that there's absolutely no chance they can score.
Yeah, 17 minutes in, we could have had the first goal at either end in the last 3 minutes. That deflected effort from Ireland just going past the far post, and then England with brilliant cross there from Gregory out the left, and it took 2 Ireland players at the far post, both Brennan and certainly Jessie Stapleton with the second block, managing to keep this game scoreless so far. Ireland in midfield now. Lovely turn there by Ellen Malloy. Ellen Malloy does brilliantly, but she takes a bit too much out of it, and England snuff her out. 3 English players against 1 Irish, and Lucia Kendall will take it away, and she'll go back now to Georgia Fox, who'll go back into the centre, and England will start the whole process yet again and build with Maisie Simmons out to the left hand side, where they find Tara Byrne again down that side to Parry, and now Gregory has it. Gregory does well to cut inside her marker, which is Kinevy, and Kinevy does well with the support of a teammate there. Ireland managing to get 2 players players with Devaney back across, and really, to be fair, they're doubling up whenever England look threatening.
Yeah, they're working really hard. I was impressed with Kate Slevin, especially in that little passage of play. She could very easily have ended up following the player she was designed to mark, but she screened a lovely pass, won the ball, got us back up the pitch, relieving the pressure, and against a team that seems to be as technically good as this English team, those little challenges, those little interceptions are going to be extremely important.
England with 8 players back, and El Malloy was forced to shoot from a long distance out. She's almost got a goal of the season contender list from herself in the National League this season, but on that occasion you felt she just wanted to have a shot but never looked comfortable.
She did, possibly stretching a little bit to connect with it, but again worth a shot from that distance. It's important again when we get forward that we're quicker when we do it. We're allowing England to get back, we're coming back inside, we're maintaining possession when we really have them 1v1 and 2v2. I'd like to see us keep going.
Yeah, Wardlaw has been very impressive for England so far. She's like the conductor in the middle of the midfield there. She gets the ball moving right and left, but she does it at good pace, and this is where England just maybe are taking a bit too much out of it, but they're really happy to retain possession, particularly away from home, and you've got to remember that they're actually playing like a home side this evening with the amount of possession and threat that they're posing to Ireland. Heavy touch down this near side by Fox now, that's going to go out over the end line. 20 minutes in, England will feel they probably have enough possession to create more chances, and Dave Connell is probably looking out saying they're not really threatening us.
Look, as top seeds in the group, you'd expect them to have a lot of possession, especially in the first 20 minutes when they're trying to settle the game down early against what's essentially is a home side. As top seeds, yeah, you'd expect Ireland to try and hit them on the counter. I think they would be relatively happy with the way that everybody has begun the game. No one seems to be overawed by the occasion. And let's see what the next 25 minutes can bring.
If there is a wind advantage this evening, it's just slightly with England, because you can see with Ascalente's kick out there that it didn't even reach halfway, and she put a lot into that one. England will be happy to build from inside Ireland's half. Surely a free kick to the English, but no. Referee Gonzalez lets Ireland play on, and they'll try and break now with Aoife Horgan, back from Connecticut this week, where she's had a successful life to college football in America, because she was a treaty player up to last season, and certainly one for all the local fans this evening to come out and enjoy. 2 other Limerick players on the bench this evening: Jenna Slattery, formerly of Fairview Rangers and now at Treaty United, and of course Nicole McNamara in the Irish squad tonight. Ballingary's Nicole, who plays with Galway this season. Ireland now with Watkins. Again, you just feel she didn't have the support with her, probably took the wrong option, but with just one player, Ellen Malloy, ahead of her, she thought it was better to shoot. No trouble though to keep her Ciara Keating. Maybe
felt as if she had no other option. I think you're right, Mike. I think with Ellen Malloy tightly marked, we didn't have a player on the overlap. There was no chance to have a little wraparound pass to get back around the outside. But again, good chances. We're getting into those positions. Can we capitalise on them?
England now breaking into the Ireland half. We're exactly midway through the first half. It's still scoreless here as England look for Gregory down that left side. It's a bit heavy from Parry on the pass, and that's going to go out on the far side, and Ireland will be very happy to soak up 15, 20, even 30 seconds on the goal kick. You look at the flags this evening just above the Marcus Field Stadium, and it looks like there's a vicious breeze behind England, but I think we're more enclosed inside the stadium. There's certainly an advantage there for the English conditions wise.
Again, it's possibly why some of those crossfield passes have been going straight into touch for the English, but it does seem a lot calmer down here, and it does up on top of the corporate side of the Markets Field. Look, the referee's been really good tonight. I know it as well there. Let a lot of things go. It's good to see that the referee isn't blowing for absolutely everything.
Ireland go forward now. They look for Watkins with a great run, but a brilliant interception from Tara Byrne, and Byrne only clears the ball out to the left hand side. The Irish fans getting behind us. Devaney wins a brilliant challenge in the air, and that's the rough and tumble that supporters love to see. They love to see the fight from the girls in green, and that was excellent from Devaney, but it comes to nothing as the ball gets back in England's favour, and they again build with Mace from the back, and over to the far side they find Tara Byrne, who's enjoyed acres of time and space so far. It's quickly taken off her by Simmons, leading by example the English captain, who's done so much good work with Wardlaw in the middle so far. They go back before they go forward, and England, they're very comfortable on the ball.
Really comfortable, especially when they had the time and the space to do so. Again, we've been really impressed with Lucy Watson dropping in. We've been impressed with some of the movements from Kendall on the left hand side as well. Really technically good. A reflection really of how good or how well that those players have been coached in the English system, how structured the whole thing is. Reflective of the men's setup as well, that they've been so good at underage World Cups and European Championships recently. So yeah, look, it's good to see a side like this in action.
England again looking for that long crossfield pass. This time it came from keeper Ciara Keating. They looked again for the diminutive figure of Freya Gregory down the left. She got a boot to it, but it went out over the touchline. And if anything, Therese Kenevi on the far side, she's thrown the ball more than she's kicked it. She's defended very, very well over there, but England certainly targeting the crossfield ball down her side so far. Ireland now look for Malloy. Lovely touch inside to find Kerry-Ann Brown. Brown looks up. She's got Horgan down that right hand side. Will Horgan manage to keep the ball in play? It bounces once, it bounces twice. She does keep it in. An opportunity now for her to have a run for the first time off Lucy Parry. Horgan goes down the right hand side, crosses across centre. Malloy! It's over the bar, and that was a brilliant build up play by the Irish. It was patient, and they found the only player unmarked who was inside the box. Ellen Malloy will be desperately disappointed, who was desperately unlucky with the effort. Right boot and scooped it rather than hitting it low.
She really will be disappointed with it, and 2 minutes after I spent some time talking about how technically good the English players are. A lovely move from Ireland, little one-touch play, crossfield pass and 1v1 attacking. Excellent to see it. The only thing we're missing was the finish.
It was brilliant from Ireland. Down this right, our left hand side, Kerry-Ann Brown switched it to the right to Horgan. She certainly took her time. She was patient before beating her marker, and a lovely low cross. Malloy managed to take a sidestep to her right, got it onto her right boot, but scooped it over the bar 6 yards out, and that's the biggest opportunity that Ireland have created so far in the opening 25 minutes of the game. And England now forced to defend, and maybe this is Ireland enjoying their little purple patch in the first half, because they haven't spent so much time in the English half so far, but they've created the best opportunity now.
We're stretching the game, Mike, no doubt about it now. We're putting balls in behind for the likes of Kellyanne, for Rebecca, for Aoife Horgan over that far side. We're putting those balls in, we're testing the English. It's good, really, really good to see it.
Oh, great crowd in at the Marketsfield Stadium this evening. It just shows senior soccer alive and well back in the Treaty County this year. Treaty United going ever so well in the First Division playoff contenders, where they'll face UCD this Friday night and probably will face UCD in the playoffs as well. All that to be decided in the next 2 weekends, but that was the last game at the Marketsfield here on Friday night. The pitch repaired brilliantly as ever, very quickly, as Ireland win the free kick back here with the action. 26 minutes gone, and you just heard Dave Connell on the far side shout, get out, get up the pitch quicker. Maybe now they've settled for 25 minutes, defended deep, they've soaked up whatever England have had to throw at them, and maybe he feels after the last couple of minutes they too can create opportunities.
I think we can. I think they've shown it, especially in the last 3 or 4 passages of play that we've had, that they can create those opportunities. There's space in behind this English defence. There's chances for us maybe to press them a little bit tighter in the middle. Lovely turn from Simmons in the centre there to beat up the first marker, but in the end we soaked it up. We're away and we're up the other end of the pitch with Ellen Malloy now.
Yeah, Doherty does superbly well with Stapleton. They managed to switch to play. Malloy looked for the free kick. I think it was a bit ambitious in looking for the free kick. They certainly I think locked laces more than clashed, and it was Malloy that ended up on the ground, and the referee Gonzalez has let this game flow. No stop-start nature in this one, and it's been very free-flowing so far. No whistle-happy referee, and that's great to see, and the crowd appreciating it too, as Ireland go forward on the right looking for Horgan. Again the ball beats everyone and goes out for a throw on the far side, but it can never be underestimated how important it is for a good referee to let a game flow. It keeps the crowd involved rather than a stop-start nature.
Look, it's been great, and the nature of the play, especially I've been particularly impressed with Muireann Devaney in the centre. A couple of really heavy challenges in the first couple of minutes that any referee might have had a word about, but wouldn't have needed to. 2 really strong challenges, another couple in the last couple of minutes. She's really put herself about, and between herself and Kate Slevin, they have a little bit of everything that you might need from a midfield too.
Ireland with a goal kick. 27 minutes in at the Marketsfield Stadium in the European Women's Under-19 Championship Qualifier. The tournament takes place next year. It's all about qualifying. Earlier today, Switzerland beat Northern Ireland by 3-1. It's Northern Ireland, England in 3 days from now, and the Republic of Ireland back here against the number 1 seed Switzerland, who I'm told from this afternoon's performance were so professional in their approach, in their attitude, enjoyed the lion's share of possession, took their chances when they came, and certainly looked the number 1 seeds here this week. But on the evidence of tonight, both these sides aren't afraid of mixing it. England certainly look better technically, but 2 very good sides.
2 very good sides again, and these games really are mini tournaments in themselves. It's 1v1 and everything to play for. Results are everything at this level, especially when you're looking to qualify for European Championships. Czech Republic is the prize at the end of this. There's 7 teams that are going to qualify. Mike's right in what he's saying. My mistake earlier on, I thought England were, I was as impressed with them as I was. I thought they were top seeds, but Switzerland top seed. Beautiful turn from Aoife Horgan there. But England, as second seeds, will fancy themselves to go through as well.
They absolutely will, and they look very, very composed on the ball. That's so noticeable, certainly in the warm-up and in the action itself. All technical, all trustworthy of each other, and not afraid to fizz passes around the pitch. And in particular, if one of those crossfield passes does manage to find its target on the far side, which has so often been Freya Gregory, you do think Ireland might be stretched. It could be in trouble here. A mistimed intervention there by Jessie Stapleton, and England can break forward. Good play here by Agnes Beaver-Jones. Beaver-Jones flicks him down the line looking for Lucy Watson. Watson looks up now. Has she got options? She's going to go way out to Gregory again. Too much fizz on that. It's gone, and maybe Beaver-Jones will look back and say she should have gone herself rather than trust her striker Lucy Watson, who made a bad decision.
I think she will. And look, as much as we've been speaking extremely highly of Ellen Malloy there, loose ball in midfield, and England were on it straight away. Real kudos for Della Doherty there, stayed on her feet, didn't dive in. Would have been the easy thing to do. Try and win the ball back early, try to win the ball back in your own half, or win your own box rather. But real kudos to her, stayed on her feet, and possibly was the reason why Ireland didn't concede there.
Byrne back on the ball now, switched of course as ever from Mace, but she gives it back to her, and England approaching halfway, going forward, looking inside now for Watson. Watson will be eager to make up for that last pass. She's lost it, and Ireland's so good at snuffing out the danger when England get into those attacking zones. Brilliant work by Muireann Devaney, who's worked so hard tonight defensively. Maybe she missed out on the final ball there, but her work rate and work ethic has been superb in that Irish midfield, where she's been well backed up inside there by Kate Slevin as well. And it's a really good battle between Wardlaw, Simmons and the two aforementioned Irish midfielders in Devaney and Slevin, and all over the park, real good 50-50 combats going on so far.
Right, Mike, in the middle, the two wide areas, even the fullbacks, the English fullbacks against our two wingers, really good, interesting battles to come, I think, in the next 20 minutes or 15 minutes before the end of the half. Unfortunate to see Aoife Horgan miss out on one chance there, but again, we're testing them.
Yeah, corner to England though, because Fox made a great run. She anticipated the ball in the air coming off her brilliant head of Beaver-Jones. Fox got the cross to the back post looking for Gregory coming in, and all Ireland could do was defend it. Defend it well was Therese Kenevi out the back, and Kenevi, at the expense of a first English corner of the evening, has given them a set piece opportunity now. We're playing just 31 minutes 14 to half time. The short whistle, a well earned break so far for both sets of players who've really had good endeavour. England with the corner, right footed, it's whipped in on top of the Irish defence. Great header again there by Kenevi. It's out for a second corner. Great intervention by the Irish fullback. She's had an excellent opening half hour.
Really good, really impressive defence from the corner there. We're leaving Ellen Malloy up, we're leaving Aoife Horgan on the edge, but we still have a player in the hole, on the front post, the back post, and we're marking up, considering that half the goals scored in the European Championships, the last ones that were held in, I think it was Portugal, half the goals were scored from corners, so again it's going to be important to defend these.
Simmons again takes English corner. Ireland so quick to snuff out the danger, and they've won possession on the far side but only hacked it into English territory, where it's picked up again, and the ever willing Jorga Fox down this right hand side. Superb pass and brilliantly taken by Ruby Mace. She showed superb technical ability there to chest the ball down, get it back, and England again will start with Fox and Byrne back in the centre of the defence. Mace just swapping with Fox down this right hand side for a couple of moments, and now they involve their goalkeeper Ciara Keating, right footed. They look again for that crossfield pass. Kenevi comes out flying. I think it did take a touch off Kenevi, but for the second time tonight the referee hasn't seen the deflection, gives the throw to Ireland, and they'll be quite happy to get on with it inside their own territory. Touch there by Captain Doherty. Doherty back out to Kenevi. Kenevi down the line looking there for Watkins. Watkins looking for Aoife Horgan outside her. Again, it's two small players. They're very much low centre of gravity players on the far side. Lucy Parry up against Horgan. This time Parry harasses Aoife Horgan over the touchline, and Ireland get the throw over there, which again will be taken by Kenevi. She's been a live wire down that right hand side. Defensively very good. Going forward, she's trying to assist Horgan down the right hand side. Ireland win the throw, this time off Ellen Malloy, as the English are quick to snuff out the danger of the Wexford player who's had the best chance of the opportunity, or best opportunity of the night so far for Ireland, as she missed from 6 yards out after brilliant build-up play. Ireland now trying to capitalise on an English mistake, and it's Kerry-Ann down this left-hand side, comes in on her right, good effort, keeper had it covered, Ciara Keating. Kerry-Ann Brown, superb reading of the game, and technically a very good strike.
Excellent from Kerry-Ann, and again she has started the half brightly. We're 33 minutes in now. It's good to see her get a chance on goal. Really good decision making from her. Looked like a poor pass out to the right sided player from England. She was right onto it, stepped inside with the ball, and a good shot.
England again probe down the left hand side. The game is starting to open up a bit now. You just feel there's a little bit more space, certainly in the attacking third of both sides of the pitch. England happy to defend at the moment and get the ball back to Keating, who'll give it to Mace in a couple of moments, or she won't, because she'll go for the longer angle, and it's well played in there to the feet of Beaver Jones, who loses it, and Ireland now maybe can capitalise. They go forward with Ellen Malloy, 30 yards out from goal now. She'll try and get on the favoured left boot. Strike coming in from Malloy. It's a great strike, a great save. Keating was brilliant. She was brilliant in the warm-up with fingertip saves, and she just proved it there. Malloy pulled the trigger, and Keating equal to the test.
Great strike from Malloy. Really stepped inside excellently well. Again, the keeper at full strength tips it over the bar. To me, it looked like it was in. It would have been a great goal. It would have brought the crowd to their feet, but so far again another corner.
Ireland with their first opportunity from a corner of the evening. That was brilliant from Malloy. Can they now, with 6 players in the box, do something with this? Goes across, well defended by England, and Beaver Jones at the front post manages to get ahead in it. Ireland still in possession. Good play now. They find Aoife Horgan on the far side. Horgan takes a touch and goes back to her teammate, which is Kate Slevin. They look for the ball through, but the keeper again out very quickly. And I'll tell you what, she hasn't had a huge amount to do, Ciara Keating, but she's certainly earned her appearance money tonight.
Really quick off the mark there. There was Irish players ready to pounce. Again, really good from Ireland.
Opportunity again. Keating maybe didn't get there that time, and it looked like Ellen Malloy was going to get in behind her, but there was a vital interception back there as Ireland get the free kick, and there's just that little exchange between Byrne and her keeper to say, give me a little shout, let me know you're coming. But thankfully from an England point of view, Tara Byrne read that situation. Otherwise Ellen Malloy would have dealt with the ball in the air, because the keeper certainly flapped at the opportunity.
I think so. I mean, once we keep putting the balls into those areas, I think we'll get a little bit of joy. Good from Muireann Devaney again in the centre, winning a free kick there. Strong, really agile, good on the ball. Again, really good to see a player like that coming, playing for Ireland at this level.
Ireland have the free kick. They're going to commit several players forward, 6 in all inside the box. They look for the aforementioned Delia Doherty, and Della doesn't manage to get the referee's assistance this time. She did get her head to the ball, but the referee was quick to point a push and an offside decision, and England will be quite happy maybe now just to settle down for a couple of moments, because Ireland have picked and chosen their moments to go forward, and when they have, they've almost capitalised, because between Malloy and certainly Kerry-Ann Brown and Watkins being a threat, Ireland have given this English defence plenty to think about.
They have, and momentum is very, very important. I think when you've got a team on the rack and you have England asking questions of themselves, I think you should probably keep going, keep doing it. Again, it depends on where the spaces occur or where the spaces open up on the pitch. We're looking to play in behind. There's only so much of that you can do, especially as the game wears on, and it'll be interesting to see the types of changes that Dave might make in the second half. But so far, really good. The passes, could we tidy up on them a little bit? Of course we could. Could we be a little bit clever with the runs? Of course we could. But look, a really, really good start, and 9 minutes to go in the half. I think could be an interesting 9 minutes.
Certainly, Kenevi down that right hand side gets Ireland go forward with a throw, surely a free kick, a foul on Ellen Malloy. She's looking for her opponent to be booked on this occasion, but I think in fairness to the referee, she won't punish Charlotte Wardlaw there, not too much anyway, because Malloy was going forward, but I don't think there was any malice or real intent. It was more a tangling of legs. Ireland have the free kick, an attacking dangerous position now for the Irish, and they're going to send across their fullback Shauna Brennan left footed to put this in. Again they commit 6 players forward. Malloy just hanging around the edge of the D in case anything falls. Technically she's shown us already with a strike how well she can do. Ball chipped over the top, it's going to run through to Keating. Ireland were aiming there for Kenevi, she couldn't get on the end of it. Wasted opportunity.
It was a wasted opportunity. Slight difference in the way that England are defending those free kicks to the way they were defending the corners, leaving nobody up for corners. Lucy Watson staying up for those free kicks. I think they're looking to break quickly on us. They're in the final third even as we speak, but look, again, another chance, another ball into the box, and we keep asking those questions.
Muireann Devaney working hard, but she gives away a throw. That throw will be to England and Fox down this right hand side. She does well. She's under pressure from Kerry-Ann Brown, shepherds it out over the line to Ireland, and Ireland will get the throw, and it just shows the work and the work ethic of the Ireland players, in particular Kerry-Ann Brown, not afraid to go forward and certainly doing her defensive duties in supporting Shauna Brennan down this left hand side. Brennan will get a second bite of the cherry with the throw. Now finds Brown back to Brennan. The two Bs combining down the left hand side, and they've done that well since minute 1, and we're now playing minute 38, almost ticking into the 39th minute. Ireland have it with Watkins, back to Brennan, enjoying a little spell of time on the ball here, but lose it just as we say it, and England now will go forward again. It's Maisie Simmons who gets in there, breaking up the play for the English, and she finds Gregory's got support on the outside. England now with an opportunity to put some pressure on the Irish rear here. Again, Simmons enjoys her touch on the ball, and she goes back to her fullback Lucy Parry, who raids down the left. She's got Gregory outside her. Gregory won't keep that in, but she is happy not to keep it in because it's a throw to England, and Parry will switch the play to Wardlaw. Wardlaw looking up, has options with Mace on this right hand side, and further out is Fox, and so too is Beaver Jones, but she elects to go back on the far side where Tara Byrne has looked for that reverse pass all night. They look down the throat of striker Lucy Watson. It goes over her head, and Ireland with defending to do, and they do it well, but they're now camped inside their own half, and these will be a nervy 6.5 minutes for Dave Connell's side if they are sitting deep and letting England enjoy a spell of pressure. Fox again with a heavy touch. That's the second time where it looked like all she had to do was leave the ball inside. She didn't time it right. It's gone out over the end line, and you just felt there Ireland were starting to retreat back towards their own goal. They won't want to do that for the final 6 minutes because pressure will always tell.
England were building there, no question, and again there's those little individual 1v1 battles, and if one player wins one, when you're as deep as you are, you could be in trouble. Heavy touch, really heavy touch from Georgia Fox. Again, the old cliche that she connect with it too well. I think if she gets a little bit of a lighter touch on that, I think they're in. But Ireland, I think a bit more communication. I think the keeper can come for one. I'd be interested to see again how much we can dig in here.
The rain is coming down at the Marcus Field. You might be able to see it clearly on your TV screen, but I can tell you it's starting to come down and come down a little bit harder now as the supporters on this uncovered side of the ground start to look for cover behind the wall down here. About 200 or 300 supporters on the popular side of the ground. The stand certainly could become more populated in the next couple of moments as the rain really hammering down. It's in favour of England. It's certainly behind them with the wind advantage as well in this opening half, as England now failed to deliver proper or clear their lines properly, and Ellen Malloy picks it up, and now Aoife Horgan, and Malloy elects to take over again. Will she get it on the left boot? 20 yards out, strike! It's wide. It's a deflected effort. It should be out for a corner, and the corner is awarded to Ireland, the second corner of the evening. Malloy not afraid of taking responsibility. She told Aoife Horgan she wanted it, and following her last effort, which forced a brilliant save, she really had the appetite for that one again.
Just as the rain came down, Mike, as well, and those little 1v1 battles, you lose one, you could be in trouble. Ellen Malloy was straight onto the ball. Good communication between her and Aoife. Another good strike with her left foot.
It's turning into a wet wintry night after we've had almost 4 seasons in Limerick this afternoon, but Ireland will be happy that they have a corner with 4 minutes to half time. It's going to be Muireann Devaney to take across this near side. It only doesn't beat the first player, but it comes back again, a low fizzing effort. Oh, that's great hands from Keating. And certainly any time she's been called on from a shooting opportunity, she's been so assured. And on a night, Mike, when the ball can fizz off the surface and it's getting greasier now with the rain falling, she held that superbly as Ireland anticipated her fumbling it.
Did really well, and when Muireann Devaney hit it again, I thought, why not? The way the grass is getting a little bit wetter, it's going to skim off it. Why not? It could take a deflection. We need to get those shots on goal. Anything can happen. We go in at half time ahead, nobody would be complaining.
Watkins on the far side for Ireland. She's quickly snuffed out by 3 England players, but she does get a throw, and a chance now for the Irish defence to really get a good breather in, because they've had some intense pressure during various stages of the first half. Lots of fans heading down to the visiting stand, or the singing Blue Army stand as it's known, on home nights for Treaty United. Ireland getting away with what looked like it was a suspicious foul throw on the far side. They have it with Malloy 20 yards out from goal, but over on the far touchline, ball put into the box. England there in numbers, and they'll deal with that, but it comes back out to the girls in green, who loft it forward, and it's quickly collected there by Keating. Not afraid to come off her line, not afraid to take command, and again Ireland, you feel, need to be a little bit more patient in those attacking phases.
Really assured from Keating so far. If England would like to point to anybody to why they haven't gone in at half time, possibly behind, they'd have to point to her. Great ball from Therese Kenevi as well.
Oh, Ireland are through here. It's got Watkins, an opportunity. She thinks she goes, takes a tug. Surely it's a foul. She hasn't given it. She left play, developed it. Gonzalez, great save by Keating, but she definitely had a tug of the arm as she was about to pull the trigger.
There was definitely a touch on the arm. I think a player might have been forgiven for going down in those circumstances, considering there was contact. Again, Keating, England can thank her that they're not one down going in at the break.
Brilliant save by Keating. She stood. She didn't commit, and she got a brilliant palm of the ball as Watkins went for the far bottom corner of the goal, and brilliant from Ireland, but even better from the England netminder, who England will certainly be thanking in the last 10 minutes for keeping them right in this game as we approach half time. Still looking for the first goal of the night, but you get a sense that it's coming closer and closer, and England now, with just over 90 seconds left on the clock, will try and get something going inside Ireland's box with Watson. She twists, she turns, and she's quickly dispossessed. Again, superb defending, and Kenevi has been a stalwart back there for Ireland tonight. She stood her ground, one possession, delivered it long and only into England possession, but they're right back now at the edge of their own box, and quickly building from Keating to Mace, and she looks up. She's got the ever willing Fox running down the right hand side. She has been so good down there, a couple of heavy touches, but nonetheless gives great attacking impetus for the English down the right hand side, and a great option. Gregory on the far side has been really willing too. Yeah, it was certainly gone out on the far side, couldn't see the flag, but Gregory knew. She gave up the opportunity. Dave Connell, will he be talking after the game about surely it had to have been a penalty? Is that the main talking point?
It probably is from the first half. The English chance that Brennan blocked as well, maybe, but definitely that chance there. For me, it's a penalty. For me, she also should have scored. Keeper did extremely well by staying on her feet. Look, the standout performances so far. Malloy has been really good in an attacking sense. The back four have all been excellent in a defensive sense. Brennan probably especially. You've got a player like Therese Kenevi over on the far side. Galway Gerlin could be forgiven for thinking that it was Leanne Kiernan over there with the head of hair that she has, the women's national team star, but she's putting in a really good performance, and again, really good to see it.
Yeah, the Republic of Ireland women's team busy building for tomorrow night at Tallaght Stadium, the home of Irish women's football now. Sweden, and a big occasion for Vera Pauw and her side. I'm sure they're looking in this evening, passing the evening, building ahead of tomorrow evening. We extend our best wishes to them on a huge night of women's international senior football tomorrow. Tonight we're with the 19s. Brilliant work in midfield, and Kate Slevin and Myrne Devaney have really come into it in that Irish midfield in the last couple of minutes. Slevin doing superbly well to break down play. She finds Kerry-Ann Brown, switches play to Horgan over on that right hand side. She cuts inside, left footed, tries to tread a pass through to Malloy. She'll get a second bite of the cherry, but the referee sees time for no more. Bang on 45 minutes, and the referee for tonight's game, Zulema Gonzalez from Spain, sees no time to add any time at the end of the first half. Both managers will have good and bad things to talk about, but overall it's been a very entertaining first half despite it being scoreless.
It's been entertaining, there's been chances. I think if I was Dave Connell, I'd be upset that the referee has blown at that particular stage of the game. I think Ireland were in, but look, it's been refereed quite well so far. Chances at both ends, we can't really ask for any more. I think the crowd will be happy.
So there you have it, it's half time here at the Markets Field. The rain has stopped, the players will be glad of that. Both sets of substitutes are out to continue their warm-up preparations in anticipation of getting onto the pitch. A rapturous ovation for the Irish players as they go in under the Markets Field tunnel into the dressing room for 15 minutes of a break. We have about 14 minutes of a break. We look forward to that, and we look forward to plenty of thrills and spills here in the second half. But at half time in this European Women's Under-19 Championship Qualifier game at the Markets Field in Limerick, it's the Republic of Ireland 0, England 0.
So definitely half, but you know, not
1-2. Well, you're back with us for the start of the second half. No goals in an exciting first half here in this European Women's Under-19 Championship qualifier at the Markets Field. The second half about to get underway, and it'll be Ireland through Watkins to get us underway for the second half. Ball out for a throw. What can we expect from both sides? A bit more defensive or a bit more attacking?
I think there's a little bit more to lose now. We're starting the second 45 minutes of the game. I think it's going to be a one chance, a two chance game maybe. I will be interested to see if there's any changes, if anybody's going to change up the way that they approach the game. England don't seem to have made any, Ireland don't seem to have made any. Little bit of gamesmanship from the English maybe, leaving Ireland out in the cold. The tunnel isn't that big from the dressing rooms all the way out onto the pitch, so maybe a little bit of psychological warfare from the English, but look, we'll be looking forward to a good second half.
Can't beat local knowledge. It certainly isn't that far from the tunnel to the pitch, but England now on the attack very early in this second half. Lucy Parry raiding forward. Will she get an opportunity to get on her right boot and have a strike and goal? Good strike, good save. Well done by Rugile Escalante, who hasn't had a huge pile to do in the last 15-20 minutes of the opening 45 minutes, but what she had to do well there was get her body behind Parry's strike. Ireland might be a little bit worried though that the full back was allowed to travel 40 yards without being challenged.
Went a long way, Mike, yeah. Cut inside as well from a left back area. I wonder where the midfielders were at the time, and Riggsy, as she's known, I'd say Mike would be glad to get that little bit of knowledge. Riggsy, as she's known, right behind the ball to save it.
Did well. England though building now again. Manchester City's star is number 5, Ruby Mace. She's been so good on the ball for England. Certainly likes to play that crossfield pass and not afraid, and certainly well able to play the 40-yarders. She switched the ball for the umpteenth time tonight to Tara Byrne. Byrne and Mace combining well, and Wardlow joins in. All happening though inside England's half, and very much like Ireland started the first, they're happy for England to have the ball, but now is the time where they need to close down. Macy Simmons tries to get on it for England, slips the ball through, but well dealt with back there. Jessie Stapleton left-footed, hammers it out over the touchline. It'll be a throw to England, and Fox, after raiding forward, will go back to take that. Early stages of the second half, just 2 minutes gone. If you're just joining us this evening, it's been a very, very entertaining game. The Republic of Ireland and England still scoreless though as we look for the first goal. England with Lucy Watson have it now at the edge of the box. Aoife Horgan with defending to do, and the former treaty player knows this ground well, having played here throughout last season. Does well, clears the danger, and Ireland just pinned back in the early stages of the second 45.
A little bit deep, alright Mike. Look, some good connections there from Jessie Stapleton. Aoife nice and narrow the way you want your winger to be in those areas, but they're dealing with those balls into the box again. It's good to see it. A little bit of no nonsense when it's needed. Our players can play, but they also know when to play.
Yeah, the latest no-nonsense clearance comes from Della Doherty, the captain. She did well not to handle the ball inside the box there, took it well on her thigh, hammered it out for a throw, and Ireland set and now build as they get possession, and they have an opportunity now to break down the right hand side. Horgan desperately looking for the ball off Watkins. Watkins though carries it forward. 30, 40, now 45 yards, cuts back, looks for support and does well. Looked like she was going to give it. She didn't. It's across the goal. It's wide of the target. But I'll tell you what, even though Ciara Keating was confident it was going past the far post, she still dived to make sure, and that was super forward play by Watkins. Looked all out of options, then swivel, turned, shot, and was unlucky to see it go past the far post.
She had a lot to do, Mike, a lot to do. Kept going, really brave play from the centre forward, begging for Kenevi from the right back to get up on the overlap, maybe to swing another ball in, little bit of support, but look, she did really well.
Certainly did. Ireland with the first real attacking effort of the second half. 49th minute, 0-0. Ireland now with defending to do. Kenevi had a great first half. She started the second in the same vein. Brilliant, tenacious play by Ireland's number 2. Right-footed now. She looks down the line for Watkins. Watkins, after a brilliant run a few minutes ago, a lung-bursting run, is back in the action again and looking to penetrate that English defensive line. She's won a corner, and I think two of the players that have really shone from Ireland combining there, Kenevi in particular defensively and going forward. Even though she's the lone striker, Watkins has done a plethora of work tonight.
Watkins excellent there again. Really, I think she's frightened the English centre back. I think she's frightened Parry as well. Good to see an Irish striker doing that to the English centre backs, pinning them back for once as well. Really hard work. Kenevi excellent there.
Brennan will go across from left back to take the corner. Ireland's third corner of the night. No hands raised. Ireland have something worked here. It goes out the back. Ireland a chance. Oh, brilliant opportunity for Ellen Malloy. Will it fall for the Irish? No, it doesn't for Aoife Horgan. Instead it comes back. It's a little bit of a gifted effort to Kate Slevin, who accepted the gift, but she hammered it over the goal, almost over the stand. Ellen Malloy, if she connected with that excellent corner from Shona Brennan, could have had Ireland one up. I think she either closed her eyes or just lost it in the night sky.
Possibly lost it in the night sky, but in the floodlights there, really good chance. 6-yard area, timing maybe a little bit off, that was about it. Fell to Aoife in a good position on the edge of the area. Could she have done a little bit more with it? Maybe. But look again, they're the small margins.
Yeah, Kenevi looks for that one in the air. She ducked it, I think, rather than heading it, and Gregory fell for the little dummy. It's out for a throw, and that throw will be to Ireland. And as I said in the first half, Kenevi has had so much of the ball in her hands at times. It shows you how much times England have tried to break down her side, but she has dealt admirably so far with the threat of Freya Gregory. Gregory, the aforementioned, now in possession, scoops the ball over Horgan and goes back for England, and again they'll build from the back. Lucy Parry goes to Keating, and they'll go down the right hand side now with Ruby Mace with that again booming crossfield pass. Kenevi in a great cover position, wins the ball in the air, heads it comfortably to Horgan. Horgan does well to take on her player Parry, looks down the line to try and find the ever willing runner Mirren Devaney, doesn't find her and instead finds Ellen Malloy, not afraid to throw it about, and Malloy went over the top of the ball there, not maliciously, said the referee, but did award a free kick. And as we said, the referee's name tonight is Gonzalez. One of them would have done, but she's done a fine job in letting this game flow and blowing when she's had to blow for well deserved free kicks.
Okay, and it probably was a free kick from Ellen Malloy there, and again then probably as well over on the left hand side. The referee has been very, very good. Good to see Aoife Horgan get on the turn there, attack the full back. Good to see Ellen Malloy getting on it, being positive, going forward, and Rebecca Watkins in those forward positions.
Yeah, Spanish referee tonight, one Spanish assistant and one Croatian assistant, so the referees flown in from all sides of Europe for this qualifying campaign. They'll be in action again, both sides, in 3 days' time. Ireland back here at the Marketsfield. England go to Jackman Park to take on Northern Ireland, and I think Ireland will be much happier with the fact that they're back here as Watkins now tries to break through. She's got Byrne under pressure. It's Watkins, she beats two chances again. She could have gone down, she's forced wide, and again she could have been taken down for a penalty. Instead she looked free for Horgan. Horgan left footed strike, great save. Oh, Keating has been brilliant tonight, and from a standing position she takes it point blank, and what a save. A brilliant strike from Horgan, a wonderful save, and this game now is warming up as Ireland with Brennan go down the left hand side. Cross comes in, Mace will deal with that, and she looks so cosy and comfortable back there. She nonchalantly flicks the ball out. England will get the free kick to Lucia Kendall. What an opportunity, but this keeper's value is going up by the minute at the Marketsfield.
Two great chances. We can really praise the honesty of Rebecca Watkins, staying on her feet there, looking to score. A lot of players would have gone down. Another really, really good chance for Aoife Horgan. I think that Rebecca has scared the daylights out of Tara Byrne. I don't know if she's going to get anywhere near her for the next 10 or 15 minutes, and I reckon that's our best chance of scoring.
Yeah, and again, it's because England let the ball bounce, they didn't trust themselves to go and win it. It skipped off the surface, and Watkins read it brilliantly, used her little bit of strength and nuisance as a striker. She just leaned on the shoulder of Byrne, got past her, and I thought she could have gone down and probably should have gone down for a penalty. 2 chances where she's broken through. England have taken chances defensively. They've got away with both so far. They'll go forward now, in particular with Beaver Jones. She's forced back instead of forward, and Tara Byrne quite happy just for England to enjoy a little spell of pressure with the ball at their feet and not have any defending to do. They go forward now. Wardlaw strike. It's well wide of the target. Well watched by keeper Ugile Escalante. But again, England just showing in the flick of a switch they can go from back to front. Wardlaw with that opportunity, it goes wide of the target. And Mike, even though we haven't seen any goal or anything hitting the onion sack tonight, both sides have shown enough attacking endeavour to at least get one tonight.
Both sides have shown a lot of attacking endeavour. There's been lovely playing through the phases. We've had long balls and direct passes. We've had runs in, 1v1s, 2v2s. It's been really good to watch from a technical point of view. From a tactical point of view, yeah, I'd like to see us be a little bit higher up the pitch. In the attacking phase, I'd like to see us get support there for Rebecca Watkins so she doesn't have to do a lot or as much on her own. I'd like to see a squeeze of play. I think we have a chance.
You wouldn't believe 10 minutes have already flown by in this second half. We're into the 55th minute. Ireland with a throw. Again, Kenevi takes it, and now she's got it at her right boot. Delivers it over halfway, but England with Mace deals with that, and they tied it up. Wardlaw back to Byrne, and now to Mace, who'll inevitably look up and right-footed. Will she hit that crossfield pass? No, she goes short to Wardlaw. Wardlaw options in front of her, but she's only found an Irish shirt. And again, that Irish midfield pairing of Kate Slevin, who's won the ball, and Mirren Devaney are a real nuisance for England. They just can't seem to get past that green wall in midfield when they're in a good attacking position. Lucia Kendall now looks up, roaring at her is striker Lucy Watson, shouting Lucia, Lucia, but again the pass doesn't find the English striker, and Ireland will try and break. Players starting to slip. The conditions certainly deteriorated before half time, and there's an Irish player down, and that player at the moment is struggling to get up onto her feet. It's Mirren Devaney. She's up now. She's going to put the ball out because she took a twist to her ankle there. She's gone down. She's in a bit of pain. I think she'll be okay to continue, but very sensible to get that ball out to the safety of the touchline.
Clever. She was looking to go down. She struggled on a little bit as much as she could, in fact, and look, when the ball came back to her, she did put it out of play. Looked like she got stuck in the turf. A little bit of a twist on the knee now. Hopefully it's not too bad. But look, again, she was in a really good position when she received that ball. She was in an open body shape. She could play forward if she could. Lost the ball, possibly because of the way she stood and the way that the stud got stuck in the turf. But again, good positive play from Ireland. We're not just playing it forward. We're trying to play through the thirds a little bit more. Let's hope again that this injury isn't too serious.
Well, Ireland will be very happy with their 57 minutes of work so far. They won't want to lose Mirren Devaney though, because she has been so good. And you just saw in that last England attack, while Mason and Byrne played it around the back and into Wardlaw, that was as far as they could go, because Slevin and Devaney have put up a green Irish wall in the two holding midfield positions.
We said it in the first half as well. The field position in the back four, when there's no pressure on the ball, has been nice and deep, so they can come and attack those. Any long balls that go in or into the balls into the corner, they can come and attack them. They're not getting caught flat-footed. The midfield two in front of them are doing again a really, really good job. They're squeezing over now when England are attacking in wide areas. You've Malloy coming across to make sure that any space is negated as much as possible. When we win it now, again, we're looking to get forward quickly. We'd like to see Aoife making a little bit of a forward burst without the ball, so Rebecca has someone to aim for.
Tara Byrne left-footed again. England will be forced to go long. They got a lucky deflection there and superbly controlled, but lost by Lucy Watson. She's done well up top, and I think if she gets a yard of space, she's certainly got the feet and the pace to get away from the Ireland defence. She's yet to get that big opportunity though, as England continue to probe. Byrne and Mace have enjoyed so much possession at the back, but Ireland happy for them to have it back here. England go forward now on that right hand side. Maisie Simmons tries to get a cross in. It's Irish defender that gets in the way. Shauna Brennan on the far side. It's going to be a corner kick, and the corner kick count starting to build for both sides now. 4 for England, 3 for Ireland, and England with the opportunity on the far side. Will they go short? They have the opportunity, but they're not going to do that. And over there it's Freya Gregory, who's going to take her time, I think, to maybe find somebody inside the box rather than the easy option of going back to Maisie Simmons, who hangs deep. It's into the side netting. Ireland worried for just a moment, and you could see keeper Escalante flying across her goal, but that wind was swirling in towards the side netting. It's exactly where the ball ended up. and it's opportunities like that England would have planned and prepared for, but it comes to nothing when you can't beat the first player or get the ball in the box.
Look, it does, and I think England did have a chance to go with a short corner, to go 2v1. In that little instance there, they ended up wasting the corner, putting it straight into the side netting, which is disappointing from their point of view, but those are chances.
They are chances, and chance now for Ireland to go forward. It's Byrne up against Watkins. They've had a good battle so far. Looking for Malloy's run in behind. Mace tidies up. That superb reading of the game by the Manchester City star, and brilliant back to keeper Keating. And again, Ireland just looking for Ellen Malloy. She got free once in the first half, and then she had a long range effort, but certainly Watkins and Malloy, they're a potent threat up there, and they're just looking for that one big opportunity of a slip ball through the English defence.
They're working quite well together again, like you said earlier on. Ellen Malloy is squeezing the space as a number 10. She's squeezing the space on either side of the pitch. When needs be, she can get up, she can support Rebecca Watkins on the ball. I think she could be the difference between the teams in this game as it goes on.
Fox riding down the right hand side, doesn't get a touch off Gregory, who's swapped wings at the moment with Agnes Beaver-Jones, because Beaver-Jones spent the first half out on this side. She's on this side again, but playing down the left wing this time, and that switch to Gregory has certainly worked, because they've won a free kick over on the far right hand side. They've got 3 players over this, and this again is a big opportunity now for England to build. They've committed 5 players to the edge and just inside the box, 3 over it. Not sure what's going on with the 3 over it, but England have something up their sleeve here.
Looks like a pre-planned routine, no doubt, or a penalty, or a training ground set piece. Again, set pieces at this stage of the game, temperature starting to drop as well, ground's getting a little bit colder, a little bit wetter, anything can happen.
Watkins walks away, so 2 over it. It's going to be the captain Simmons to take. Gregory also goes over it. Simmons delivers the ball to the box. It's beating everybody. Oh, the keeper Escalante was all at sea there as it went right across the box. And if you're the manager of England, you're saying who was supposed to be coming in on the far post. The referee, I think, has given an offside decision, but Ireland all at sea there, and in particular nobody took control of the situation or responsibility.
There was confusion in the box there. There's a lot of space in front of the goal. England didn't really attack it as well as it might have done. If they had, it may have been a catastrophe for Ireland in that particular sense. But look, they're the little opportunities that are going to come everybody's way tonight, and if we get 1 or 2, you'd like to think that we'll capitalise on them.
Poor clearance by Escalante. She's struggling a little bit with the ball at her feet in goal kicking opportunities this evening. Watkins goes forward. Surely it's a foul. Is it a penalty? No, it's a free kick right on the edge of the box. Now we can't see it from our commentary position how close it is to the edge of the box, but Mike, that must be a foot outside if anything.
And how well did Watkins do again? Looking, beating all ends up really, but made up the ground, put pressure on the English centre back. Really worked hard. Got her just rewards for what she did. She's got a chance now, or Ireland have a chance now. With Malloy taking it with the left, it'd be the wrong side really for a left-footed player. But Watkins again, superb.
Absolutely superb. We're going to try and watch the replay of that, because genuinely it looked very close to Ireland getting in on the far side of the area. 3 Irish players remonstrated with referee Gonzalez. She did not listen to their ways of persuasion there. Genuinely, it must be a foot outside the box, if ever a distance was so minute in terms of a free kick and penalty. This was the opportunity for Ireland to maybe get a wonderful penalty opportunity, but the referee didn't give it. Nonetheless, a great opportunity now for Ireland to have 2 players standing over the free kick. They'll still fancy their chances from a free kick like this, who players would have prepared well for in these situations.
I think they will, and look, 2 things on that. It's a really good point that you make about the Irish players really getting onto the referee about a situation like that. Reminiscent of Atletico against Liverpool last night. Really wouldn't let any decision lie. Pushed for absolutely everything. Ireland set up now really well.
Malloy, a little touch, and Ireland have worked something here. They've got a strike in. Oh, Keating again gets brilliantly down. Stapleton with the effort, and Ireland, you would have thought, would have hit that direct, but out from the wall Ireland came. A little touch inside to Stapleton, and Stapleton hammered the ball from 17 yards out. Again, it was so tricky for the keeper. She got down brilliantly, and Keating has kept England in this.
They've changed the angle on the free kick exceptionally well. I thought Ireland had 3 players lined up in front of the English wall. I was wondering what they were going to do. Again, it was another pre-planned routine. Great to see it. Great to see a little bit of invention. Good strike. Ireland had a chance there.
And England go forward at the other end, and trying to get in behind the Irish defence was Lucia Kendall off Gregory's touch. She nearly did too. Game just beginning to stretch again, a bit like the first half. About 16-17 minutes into each half, you just feel the gaps are starting to appear, and Ireland go forward now. Again, brilliant attacking endeavour by Dave Connell's side. It's a switch now by Muireann Devaney out to Aoife Horgan. Quickly though, 3 England players get around her and they break down this near side with Beaver Jones. Beaver Jones opens the legs up and extends. The referee is given a free kick, and I'll tell you what, that's one that Muireann Devaney will take for the team. Probably deserves a yellow card. Happened right in front of us, and it was a cynical but a good foul to make.
It's a great foul, Mike. If we're looking at it from a cynical point of view, it's one that you will take for your team. She's probably gotten away with it a little bit there. Aoife pushed off the ball a little bit easily on the right side down here. And what we're told on her way back from Connecticut, she almost missed her flight at JFK, so we're lucky she's here. But let's see a little bit more from her on the ball for Ireland.
First substitution of the evening. 15, Grace Clinton is coming in for the captain, and Maisie Simmons had done a good game for England in the engine room there in the centre midfield, but they've elected to make that change, and it is number 15 for England that has come onto the field to play, Grace Clinton. And England still now probing, but Ireland snuff out the danger and start to break out of defence. Good work in particular there from Kerry-Ann Brown. She's grown into this second half, a bit like the first half. Took her 10 or 15 minutes to warm into it, but in the last few minutes she's really done very, very well. Ireland going down the far touchline now. Shauna Brennan will get an opportunity to have a throw after raiding down that left hand side. And again now we're almost at that midway point of the second half. A bit like the first half, the chances and openings are starting to appear.
It's starting to get a little bit stretched. Yeah, any little bit of an energy boost that the players would have gotten at half time is starting to dissipate a small bit. Fitness levels are going to be tested a bit more. We're going to see a couple of interesting substitutions. We've already seen one from the English. We'll see if Ireland will make any changes in the coming couple of minutes. It's going to be not a war of attrition. I think these players are fresh. They're obviously very, very well coached. It'll be an interesting tactical changes, any tweaks that any of the teams may make.
3 players for the Republic of Ireland now warming up. It's a case of stick or twist for Dave Connell now midway through this second half of the game, in the 66th minute, heading towards the 67th in a few moments from now. But it's always a sign of a manager who makes the first change that they're probably most worried about the course of the game. England have made that change. Does that mean that England were more worried about Ireland, or was it a case that they had to make a change in the centre midfield where they haven't created too many chances in the last couple of minutes?
I think it's a possibility, Mike. When you're a team and you're the favourites coming into this game, you are trying to silence the crowd. You're trying to make a little bit of a statement. England haven't won this competition since 2009, so maybe they are a little bit worried. Maybe they do want to be the one to make that first move to try and force the issue or win the game. What you said earlier on, even about Dave Connell and the way the decisions he'll be thinking about coming into the last 20-25 minutes of the game, if it's generally accepted that teams are a reflection of their manager, and this Irish team really looks like a reflection of Dave Connell. A good player, really good technical player, a real football mind, and these players aren't afraid to mix it up.
Yeah, and he knows Limerick well, of course. He was player manager at Limerick, managed Limerick to the playoffs in the late 90s, eventually losing in the Battle of Belfield against the UCD over a 2-legged playoff. I think Jason Sherlock was the hero of the hour, certainly in Rathban, and UCD won it easy enough back up in Belfield. And of course Treaty United now looking for a same pathway through a playoff series in getting to the senior division, the Premier Division of the Senior League here in Ireland. And interesting times ahead for Treaty United, but interesting times ahead here, because with 24 minutes less now left on the clock, England are going forward, and it's Beaver Jones looking now up front and trying to find Lucy Watson well marshalled. England though should get it through. Beaver Jones again, left foot across, it's deep. Gregory's out the back, she volleys it off into the midriff there of Brennan, and Brennan gets the ball and didn't knock a stir out of her. She went forward, loses it just as quick, but her positioning at the back post twice tonight now has been superb. In the first half she almost cleared one off the line, and now in the second half she's denied Gregory's well connected volley. England have it with Beaver Jones, loses it, and Ireland now will go forward. Can they get Watkins in? Good defensive line by England, and Keating is out there like a good sweeper, reads the game, hammers the ball out over the touchline, and both ends of the pitch now there's a couple of players down on the haunches, and in particular Kenevi for Ireland has been brilliant in this game. She took a heavy knock there, and you could see why, the ball into the midriff, but at both ends excellent reading of the game defensively. Ireland certainly at the back four, but Keating at the back for England has stayed awake despite Ireland having limited opportunities in the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Look, it's been one of those games where the game is played in those thirds and in those particular areas, the back four areas for both teams. Impressive, really impressive bodies on the line stuff from Kenevi. Lovely, really good positioning from Della Doherty, replaying the captain's role in the game. Ireland's back four for me has been the standout moment. I think you could take Ella Malloy out of it and little starless and runs from Rebecca up front. The back four as a unit have been really excellent. Testament to the amount of work that must have been done with them over the last couple of months or the last couple of years. In fact, a lot of these players would have missed out, I suppose, with COVID and the tournament due to be played last year, and you can see now what it means to them to go out and play for Ireland.
Ireland hopefully won't be forced into a change. Kenevi's still down at the moment. All throughout the Irish team you can pick every player and go at least 7 out of 10, if not heading into the 8th category. Escalante has done everything asked of her in goals. The back four, as you mentioned, I think in particular the two fullbacks have been superb, but then again Stapleton at the back has been absolutely superb with Della Doherty. They've dealt with every threat that Lucy Watson has shown in the two holding midfielder roles. Superb out wide. Aoife Horgan and Kerry-Ann Brown have had their attacking opportunities. They've defensively done superbly well, and then you look at the two players up top, Ellen Malloy and Watkins. Their endeavour has been brilliant. So all over the park it's been a very, very strong Irish performance.
Very strong, and from talking to the coaching staff over the last couple of months, it's been difficult for them to select a squad for this particular tournament, this qualifying phase. It's a real indication of how strong the women's game is at the minute, especially at under 19 level. A lot of these players are playing senior women's national league in the country, and it's something that it's testament to the work that's been done around the country from all levels, be it grassroots all the way up to elite football. And when you have the coaching staff with the 19 saying that it could have picked another 20 players who would have been equally as good, it shows that we're in good shape.
Clinton gets a lovely first touch, the England substitute. England now breaking down that right hand side. Fox with the cross, and again brilliant positioning back there by captain Della Doherty, leading from the back, going forward, defending well, and Ireland get the ball out to the sanctuary of the touchline. We're just heading into the 70th minute, 20 to go. It really has gone by really quickly, and that'll tell you about the quality that we've seen tonight. It's been a free flowing game. Ireland and England both attacking and defending equally well at both ends. All very good from Kenevi. She just couldn't trust Escalante to get there and hammers the ball clear. 3 Ireland players around that situation, but it needed Kenevi to come across, take charge, and probably made the right decision.
Took charge, the fullback. Yeah, you like that, see that type of leadership from all of your players. She may not be the captain, but she stepped in there and took control of the situation.
England have a corner, and the second corner in the last 8 minutes, and it'll be Gregory to take. She switched wings in this second half. She raises her right hand, and she's just going to be told to hang on a moment as Gonzalez in the centre has a word with a couple of players, in particular with Watkins and with Beaver Jones. It's going to be Gregory to take, left footed. Will it be an in-swinger, or what will England have up their sleeve here? They've committed 6 players inside the box, 1 player going short. That's Jorga Fox, but it's going to be whipped in by Gregory. It's out the back, it's over the top, and again they're going to be furious with the set pieces, because twice now from corner kicks they've failed to get the ball back in play.
They have, and Ireland have stepped it up in that regard. There was no chance for England to play short one there. Ellen Malloy came short to make sure that there was no 2v1 situation. The ball was high. Again, a little bit more quality on it. Would it have landed in a good area? Possibly, but for now Ireland are dealing with those situations.
They are. England now trying to get back on top in midfield. Clinton has been a live wire since she's come into that team. Wardlaw took the captain's armband after Maisie Simmons went off. Ireland still yet to make a change, but you would feel that Dave Conlon is looking out, and like I said, it's very hard to pick an Irish player that's under par tonight, and it's very hard to take off a player who's everybody has been, shoulder to the wheel defending, but going forward they've all played their part. So making a change doesn't always have to be done, and Dave Conlon hasn't even looked like making that change yet.
No, I don't think his hand won't be forced in any shape or form. None of the players seem to be struggling be it with injury or fatigue. I think that a lot of the time you're less likely to make changes in the back four, in the midfield too, and it could be a winger, it could be a striker that comes off. If Rebecca has run her race up front, she's been extremely effective. I know that if I was an English centre back now, I'd love to see her going off the pitch. Going by what the staff again have said about it, there's possibly a better player on the bench to come in for her.
Oh, Brennan's done well here. She's got the ball looking for Malloy in the centre. Malloy won't get there, but Tara Byrne does, and England will hammer the ball clear, but it's headed back in by Brennan and picked up by Wardlaw. The England new captain tries to play a ball across the middle, and Ireland have broken up through Liston. Liston now gets the ball to Malloy. Ireland have 4 players forward. If they can just manage to get something going here, it's touched back to Devaney. Devaney looks up and switches the play very cleverly to Kenevi down this right hand side. Right footed, hammers it off Beaver Jones. It's out for a throw. I'd nearly get the ball myself because it's right next to us down this right hand side. A second ball comes in and Kenevi has it. Horgan drops looking for it, but instead she goes inside to Slevin. Slevin does well to play that ball down the line, but England read it and Beaver Jones picks it up and finds 5 yards of space. Up against Horgan, does well outside of the right boot, finds her compatriot Lucy Parry down this near left hand side. They switch it across and Byrne very capable to switch that play to Mace on the far side. Again she looks up and she's got willing runners down this near side. Beaver Jones in particular is free if the ball can get to her. It's a bad pass from Tara Byrne, and Ireland will be much happier to see that one go out over the touchline than England, who are just building up a little bit of a head of steam. Watkins now has it. She finds Kenevi looking long for Ellen Malloy and indeed Aoife Horgan. Horgan just can't get a hold of the ball, loses it, and England mop that up with just over 15 minutes left in the clock. Do two sides with Switzerland and Northern Ireland to play settle for a point now?
I think it would. I think they would. I think you go into the last 2 games then knowing exactly what you have to do. Obviously, it'd be great to get a win. It'd be great to get 3 points on the board. It'd be great for Ireland to beat a team that's seeded higher than they are. A little bit more movement from the front 3. Possibly that's what Dave Conlon might be thinking coming into the last third of the game or the last 15 minutes of the game. With the industry that we've had, with the industry that we've seen from these Irish players, it'd be no surprise to see a player maybe get a little bit tired, but for now, it's a big call.
Yeah, we're just tucking in now to the 75th minute of the game. 15 left to play. It's almost time to almost speculate on a player of the match, and without a doubt you could look at both sides and easily pick 3 or 4 on a short list, if not more. For me though, the standout player has been Ciara Keating, and that's saying a huge amount because she's pulled off 2 point blank saves and a wonderful tip over save. She's been excellent in the England goal tonight, and Escalante in the Irish goal has done everything asked of her. Throughout the park though, you've had really strong performances. Let's just see though if we can find a goal scorer in the last 15 minutes. Let's hope it's for the girls in green. That's not being biased, that's being patriotic, and Ireland though will have to defend first. England on the attack. They do well to go down the touchline with Lucy Watson across the centre, but again Escalante, her positioning has been super, and at the front post, no fumbling of the ball, gets her body behind it, and like I say, it's very very hard to pick a player of the match. Very hard to pick a player of the match. Della Doherty might have left that cross in there, but was excellent in the build up, was excellent early in the earlier passages of play. Kerry-Ann Brown now gets on the end of a long clearance from Devaney, goes inside looking for Watkins. Good defending, superb from Wardlaw, leading by example from the England midfield with the Carpenter's armband on now. Goes long to Watson, she's just snuffed away from the ball there by Della Doherty, and Doherty, brilliant, gets that. Unfortunately she loses possession to Fox, and Fox looks inside now where she has Wardlaw. Wardlaw breaks towards halfway over to this near hand side. She goes with Lucy Kendall. Kendall switches the play very well to Beaver Jones. Beaver Jones, oh, that's superb defensive work again by a player, arguably player of the match for Ireland in Therese Kenevi down this near side. It's been a great battle between the two, and no matter how many times England have probed down the left, Kenevi has been equal to it. And she stood up and she's defending in those 1v1 situations extremely well. She stood up, hasn't sold herself, ran with the player, bided her time and made a challenge when she had to make a challenge, and only when she had to make a challenge. And you can see Aoife Horgan coming off the pitch now. A local girl, played with Treaty United, might be from the Stole, but playing for Treaty over the last number of years. A real example for a lot of players around, or a lot of young players around the area. Erin McLaughlin comes on from Aoife Horgan, so Dave Conlon makes his first change in the 77th minute of the game. McLaughlin and Ireland with some defending to do initially, but England go back rather than forward, and Tara Byrne has it, and inevitably she'll find Lucy Mace. Mace, right footed, good crisp pass, it's half cut out by Malloy. Can Ireland get there to Kerry-Ann Brown? They can't, and England with Fox go down that far side. Now Gregory gets a touch. The diminutive figure of Gregory has done very well tonight, gets and keeps possession for England. They go back to Byrne and now Mace, and Ireland have 10 players behind the ball, and keeper Escalante barking out the orders as they hold this precious scoreless draw and a point at this moment. Going forward, England have it. They've lost it, but Wardlaw picks it up and out the right hand side she's got Fox. with Gregory outside her, looks up, right footed, cuts into her left and again back on her right. She's done superbly well. Cross comes in, it takes a deflection off an Ireland player, Jessie Stapleton, with a vital interception. She didn't know a huge pile about it, but it's gone out for a corner, and England simply have to get this one in play.
With 12 minutes to go, Mike, I think again these are the chances that you want to have. Deflection there from the Irish defender. Again, didn't know a whole pile about it, but it doesn't really matter once it doesn't go in, so we'll be happy with it as long as we don't concede.
Quick corner by England. It comes back to Fox. Fox with a little ball in. Again, it comes off an Irish leg. This time it comes off the hard working Mirren Devaney, and it's out for another quick corner to England. And at least this one didn't go out of play from its touch by Gregory. They went short, it worked for them, and they've been rewarded with a second consecutive corner. Again, the right hand is raised, it's whipped in towards the near post. Again, good defending by Devaney. She's given off another corner from an Ireland perspective, but they won't mind because that's good defending. And England, even though they've 6 players inside the box and at the edge of the box, Lucia Kendall, they are struggling to break down Ireland. Can they do so with this corner? It's a bit deeper, it's much better. Beaver, I should say out the far side is Beaver Jones. They got it back across, but Ireland cleared the danger. It's whipped back in from Gregory, deflection's in! Oh, it's a horrible deflection at the front post by Ireland. And unfortunately, I think for Shauna Brennan, I hope I'm not wronging her, but it came back in from Gregory, and it was going to take something like that to beat Ireland tonight.
It was constant pressure. It was 3-4 crosses in a row into the box. I wouldn't call it a lazy challenge. It just came at her very, very quickly, and she did everything she could to get a foot on it and clear the ball. Unfortunately, it flies past the Irish goalkeeper into the goals, but look, we've nothing to lose now. We can go for this.
The kind of night though where it was always going to happen, a greasy surface, the ball fizzed off it, the Irish player couldn't react quick enough, and unfortunately Escalante was stranded as it went despairingly past her into the far corner, and Ireland did not deserve that.
Didn't deserve it, and I think England can thank their lucky stars that a goal like that has gone in for them. If this is the game if this is the goal that wins the game, it would be extremely unfortunate for an Irish team, unfortunate for an English team. But again, like we said, we've got a little over 10 minutes to go now. Let's get the ball up the other end of the pitch.
England don't have it, and Beaver Jones finds Watson. Watson looks up left footed, delivers it into the box. Great ball, oh, it just evades England players that were firing into the box there, and in particular it was Liston, who's come on the field of play, that tried to get on the end of that, Grace Clinton, but it doesn't get to her, and that was very good work down the left with Beaver Jones finding Watson. And unfortunately, from an England point of view, Grace Clinton came sliding in, couldn't connect, and Ireland will have to go for this. It's going to leave gaps at the back.
Look at 2 hands in the back there on the substitute that just came on for Ireland. The referee maybe let that one go a little bit. The crowd seems to have been lifted a little bit now. They're behind the Irish team a little bit more than they were when it was end-to-end stuff. The crowd's been lifted. It mightn't have been the reason why we wanted it to be, but it has been.
England now quite happy to have the ball. 81 minutes on the clock here at the Marketsfield Stadium in Limerick in this European Women Under-19 Championship qualifier game. All will not be lost if Ireland lose tonight. They still have to play Switzerland at the weekend, and then Northern Ireland into next week. And look, first, second and third still have an opportunity. It'll be harder obviously the further down you finish in this group. If you finish third, inevitably you come up against a Germany or a France or a big nation like that. So Ireland really do need to get into the top 2 and find an easier passage to the Czech Republic.
Look, it goes without saying that you want to qualify as early and as easily as possible. Tough game tonight for Ireland, and you are up against a really, really good side. They've got 10 minutes now, a little over 10 minutes to fix it. The endeavour has definitely been there for the whole way through the game. If we can get the ball forward, we can ask a few more questions. There's an equaliser there for us.
Absolutely. England take Gregory off and they build down her side over on the right. England trying to get inside Ireland now. Again, it's Grace Clinton. She's trying to release her teammate on that far side, which is the substitute Olivia McLaughlin. And unfortunately, from an Irish point of view, they've conceded a corner. This was the source of the opening goal of the evening. Ireland will hope England don't double their advantage. The 2 group favourites, with Switzerland winning earlier today and England now winning, are setting the tone for the week as they go forward. And it was Beaver Jones out the back with her header. It's off target. And England are just starting to show a little bit of class now, because they're showing that they can play in Ireland's half, even though Ireland need to be the ones applying the pressure.
They're showing a little bit of class, is right. I mean, they are probing, especially in the final third. They're getting in behind our full-backs. there are instances where we're going to have to go for a little bit, and they can capitalise on those situations.
McLaughlin goes forward for Ireland. She's looking for Malloy. She doesn't get it, and England will be very, very happy to keep that at their feet. Of keeper Ciara Keating, who has had an outstanding outing tonight. I don't think it'll probably change our perspective on player of the match, the goal and the fashion in which it came, but credit England for probing, and they had a series of corners leading up to that opportunity, and now they're finishing the game very strongly as Clinton goes forward and finds Watson left footed, tries to get in behind Ireland's Teresa Kenevi, who has been outstanding tonight. England pick up the seconds. Great challenge again by Kenevi. For me, certainly after Ciara Keating, probably the player of the match.
She's been excellent, big shout for Brennan as well, the left back. Both full backs really, really good. It says a lot when we are talking about the English goalkeeper being one of the best players, if not the best player on the pitch in a game like this. It says a lot for Ireland's guile going forward. It shows a lot for Ireland's ability, the chances that we've had, chances that we've created. The two centre backs have been excellent. All the Irish players really have performed tonight. And it is just that little bit unfortunate that we haven't found ourselves behind from a goal of real quality.
Well, let's hope the luck of the Irish and the rub of the green will happen in the next 6 minutes here at the Marketsfield Stadium, because Ireland have to find a goal from somewhere to stay in with a realistic chance of winning this group. Their backs will be to the wall against Switzerland, but on the back of tonight's performance, Dave Connell will take a huge amount of confidence, but probably no points, which is ultimately what Ireland are aiming to get from these group games, to give them enough to try and find a route to these European Championship finals next year in the Czech Republic in 2022. Hard to think that 2021 has gone so fast by with COVID and so on, but we're great and delighted to have crowds back at football games, and a huge crowd into the Marketsfield tonight. And as Mike said, they've really come to life in the last 15 minutes. They'll will Ireland on for a goal in the last 6 minutes here. 5.5 left now as Kenevi again with a thundering challenge. Not alone did she win the challenge and win the ball, she wins a throw now and gets Ireland going forward with McLaughlin, and it's back there now to Della Doherty. Slices off her right boot, and just when you want to build a minimum bit of momentum, a clearance like that doesn't aid players like Ellen Malloy and Watkins, who are desperate for one golden opportunity.
Just not falling for Ireland at the minute. If we can get a foot in the ball, if we can pick out a pass, let's get this English back four turned a little bit. It's just not falling for us right now.
Ireland in midfield, and it's Slevin, who's had a great outing, now chasing back and taking on Clinton. Will she foul her? She doesn't. She lets her go. Clinton finds Watson left footed now onto her right and back onto her left and onto her right. Ireland do brilliantly, and again Miriam Devaney back there, Trojan work by the Ireland midfield to get back and support their defensive unit, and now they'll try and break forward. Great reading of the game though by Lucy Mace, and England now will try and go forward. It's a game of ping pong. Ireland have it with Kerry-Ann Brown, slips her challenger and goes onto her right boot. She's got McLaughlin out to the right hand side, not too many options to the left, while Ireland now just have to slow it down. Slevin trades a pass there with Devaney. Devaney switches play for Ireland down that far left hand side, where it's eventually fallen now to Ella Malloy. Malloy just inside the box, tries to get on her left boot. Will she get a strike? No, she's back onto her right. England players there in numbers, left footed, it's gone over the top. Malloy, England should get away with this, and just about do, and it's Lucy Parry who eventually clears for England, and now Beavers Jones will eventually get England forward. They'll get a free kick. That was super by Ella Malloy, and just craved the touch at the back post.
Super from Ella Malloy, and Kerry-Ann Brown, it has to be said, shades of Saoirse Noonan there, got on the ball, attacked the English back four, really made something happen, was positive going forward. Again, really good tackle from Watkins there, saving the day for Ireland on the counter.
You mentioned Saoirse Noonan, fingers crossed her injury that she picked up in Limerick wasn't too bad, and we send her our best wishes following her injury with Shelburne against Treaty at the Fair Green on Sunday afternoon. Ireland still have time to rescue something here. 4 minutes of normal time, you'd expect at least 2 to be added. We haven't had any long injuries. Dave Connell is roaring his players forward. They've got to push for something. They've got now. They'd rather lose, I think, 2-0 than 1-0 if it's a case that they go and try and get the jugular and go for an opportunity to get an equalising goal. God knows they deserve it on the balance of play. They've had equal opportunities to England, if not better, certainly from shots on target. They've done superbly well tonight. Watkins brilliantly now takes that ball in, but the heavy touch just is too much on a night where the ball has gone off the greasy surface and out for a throw, but Ireland are giving it a go.
We're doing the right things, Mike. We're getting the ball forward as quickly as we possibly can. Really good close control from Watkins there. Ball went out over this far side, but we've squeezed it. We've looked to try and win it back early. We're not just sitting back now, we're going to look for this.
England with Watson the only striker up now, have Clinton picking up possession. Great play again there by Muireann Devaney. She's been everywhere tonight. Superb by Brennan as well. The referee lets that one play on. There's bodies everywhere. That'll show you the endeavour of both sets of players, as there's a foul surely on Ellen Malloy. Brennan is down in agony for Ireland inside her own half, but Ireland will try and get on with it quickly. Gonzalez goes back for the free kick in a good attacking position. Brennan was so brave there.
Brennan excellent, absolutely excellent. And let's hope that she hasn't injured herself. That challenge where Malloy was taken down for the current free kick that she's now standing over, probably the softest one that she has endured, I suppose, over the last 60, 70, 80 minutes. To be honest, it was a soft free possibly given because of the earlier challenge, but brilliant from Brennan, really good from Ireland so far. We're not letting this one go.
Absolutely. Don't forget, tickets for Ireland and Portugal in the Men's Senior International go on sale from tomorrow. That's for season ticket holders, Club Ireland members and corporate box customers, and then the public sales are sure to be very, very popular next week on the back of the recent performances. The public will follow a winning Irish team, and Stephen Kenny has got them winning at the moment, and the public sale of tickets will go next Tuesday the 26th from 10 a.m. There is sure to be an excellent crowd for that game against Portugal. Arguably Ireland should have beaten the Portuguese away from home. It'll be trickier this time, but certainly in a much better vein of form Ireland will be going into that game. Brennan still down. This might just buy an extra 2 minutes on the clock at the end of the 90. Ireland will make another change, and let's see who's going to come in to the field of play. Muireann Devaney goes off, and it's Maria Reynolds to come on. So still no show from Limerick's representatives Jenna Slattery and Nicole McNamara. Did love to get on the pitch this evening on their home ground. England too are going to make a change, and Alex Hennessy is going to come into the field of action and replace Lucy Watson, who's been so industrious, so hard working up top for England, and she really is very much fleet of foot all night going forward. Just has been unfortunate that Ireland have given her so much close attention this evening. She's been very good. And again, maybe we might get 5 minutes at the end of this because of the injury, and now the change is surely 4 minimum.
It's starting to drag on now, and whatever, but Ireland making a substitution at this stage of the game when we have an attacking free kick, for England to make a defensive substitution, albeit a player standing in the wall, is a little bit concerning, but let's see if we can capitalise on it.
Ireland now have it. It's going to come across to Slevin. Slevin does well to trade passes over on the far side with Malloy. Malloy tries to get on her favoured left side. Will she get a corner at least out of this? She keeps the ball in play. That's the first hard part done by Malloy. Little bit of flicking of the ball to herself over in the far corner. England players are getting around her now. There's now 2-3 players around her. Will she get a corner at least? She doesn't. England substitute over there is Olivia McLaughlin, and she does well. England force the ball out over the touchline. 4 minutes will be added. Brennan is back on the field, so Ireland back to their full complement. 4 big minutes for Dave Conlon, the Republic of Ireland. Can they force what would be a deserved equaliser this evening here at the Marketsfield Stadium in this European Championship qualifier game? They've got a free kick in a good position, and that free kick was well bought, I would say, by the Republic of Ireland there, and in particular by Kerry-Ann Brown. What a position, and Ireland really can capitalise from something like this as they make another change with Slevin going off, and good chance now for Ireland to put pressure on.
Great chance for Ireland making a good attacking substitution. We have a chance now to get the ball in the box. Games against England like this, they're made for heroes, so let's see if we have one.
It's Emma Bucci that comes on for Ireland. Bucci goes out the back post. She's a tall girl. It's going to go out to the back too. Can she make a big impression? No, it's Jessie Stapleton that rises highest. She could not get over the top of the ball to either get it on target or back across the goal, and that was a good opportunity to put pressure on the England rear guard. They certainly had a plan to aim it out the back because Ireland's 3 tallest players in the pitch all went that direction. Opportunity gone.
It probably is an opportunity gone, and with Bucci on the pitch now there is an aerial threat, or much more of an aerial threat. Good pace on the delivery, a little bit more quality on it. Could we got a chance there? Unfortunately, Jessie Stapleton got under it.
England long clearances. She's been great, this goalkeeper Ciara Keating tonight. She lofts the ball well over halfway, and England will try and win the seconds in there, which they do. Clinton has been excellent since she's come on, Grace Clinton that is, and she goes back and finds Tara Byrne across to Mace. Now they could do it, one of Mace's spectacular crossfield passes she finds over there on the far side. England's substitute, which is Olivia McLaughlin. McLaughlin surely was fouled there. Great turn by her, and that takes all the pressure off England that they've endured for the last 90 seconds.
Great turn by her. Brennan probably had to make the challenge as well. She was beaten Really impressed with Rebecca up front again there, to running as hard as she has for 91 minutes, and she's still running to press the centre halves, still trying to win the ball back early. Again, you can see what it means for these players.
England have it. They only got a throw now. They've got the free kick now, and they're quite happy just to soak up 15-20 seconds by telling the referee this evening that they thought it was a throw and they knew full well it wasn't. They've committed still plenty of players forward. 7 players in around the edge of the box for England at the moment as they try and win it. Ireland will try and get it themselves and break very quickly now, with certainly Erin McLaughlin coming into the game and finding Ellen Malloy. Malloy breaking forward. Can she look right or left? No, she's just run out of a state there, and unfortunately for her, 4 England players converged on her. She was trying to get Kerry-Ann Brown in the far side, but Watkins too tried to get up and support. Ireland couldn't get it, and now Beaver Jones goes forward for England down this left hand side. What an energy lung bursting run by her. Ireland get back, and what a player this Kenevi is for Ireland. Again, she's the one with the strong tenacious tackle. She wins the ball. England have the throw, 2 minutes to go. You got to say England will see this through.
It's looking that way, Mike. It is again really good play from the full back. Ellen Malloy losing the ball. Paul Gascoigne style, kept going. There was a chance to get through in down that side. I don't think we're beaten just yet, but time is running out.
Certainly is. Ireland have got a free kick. Wardlaw tries to play on, but the England captain didn't start as captain, but she's captain now. Tried to waste an extra 15 seconds by taking the ball out to the right wing, but Ireland have it, and Ascalante has raced out of the goal. We've over a minute left, so there's still time. A good delivery is so important now. Ireland would have worked in situations like this in the build up to the game. They've committed every single girl in green into the England half, and further beyond, almost to the edge of the D, is the most defensive Irish player, and they'll need that defensive player in Brennan now. She's got an opportunity to get the ball out wide. Probably the wrong option. She could have put that into the box herself. She went for Kerry-Ann Brown, but Brown gets the throw, and Ireland will still pummel the England defence for the last minute or so of this game. They could be in trouble here. They'll get a free. They don't. It's a full-time whistle, and a bit like a lead balloon coming down out of the sky, an anti-climax on what was a very impressive Irish performance.
Mike, it is disappointing. It's disappointing that we lost the game. Ireland gave it everything, especially after going behind. Looked to try and get back into it as quickly as possible. Gave up a little bit of possession, a few opportunities at the other end, but just they tried everything they could. They really pushed. They didn't sit back. They weren't settling just for a 1-0 defeat. Good from the English, especially towards the end of the game. They still pressed the Irish players, still tried to get up the other end, and it's just a very disappointing night at the end.
Yeah, 1-0 win is as good as any win. It's a clean sheet. It's 3 points for the English. That's what the mission was when they came to the Markets Field earlier tonight. They've accomplished that through a cruel deflection of a goal that's given them all 3 points. All is not lost though. Ireland still go forward. They'll need to get something from Switzerland, and they'll certainly have to beat Northern Ireland in their last game. But tonight, Mike, a great crowd, a great advertisement for women's football. It's showing the growth of the game here in Ireland, that we've come so close to beating an English team that have plenty of players on the periphery of the Women's Super League in England. So all won't be lost, but they'll feel dejected tonight.
I think it'll be a little bit more than an honourable defeat. I think you're right, Mike. I think it'll feel a little bit more than an honourable defeat, or a little bit of a good performance. But sure, look, we left it behind us. I think there's a lot to build on here. I think this Ireland team has performed extremely well tonight. Really impressed with the crowd that came out to watch them. Let's hope the crowd come back out to watch them again. It's something that it is reflective of the way the game has grown, and like Dave Connell mentioned, over the last couple of days, it's great to have it here in Limerick.
It absolutely is. There's a debrief going on with the Irish team. There's a debrief going on with the English team. The Irish management team are certainly having a full debrief in around the centre circle. They'll be disappointed tonight, but you got to get up and go, and they'll get up and go again very, very quickly as they take on Switzerland this weekend in a game that they can't afford to lose. The qualifying hopes have taken a dent, but they're not over. Our thanks to Mike McCarthy this evening for joining us in the commentary box. So Mike Ahern and the two Mikes from a blustery Markets Field now. England have taken the 3 points in this European Championship qualifier. It's ended the Republic of Ireland 0, England 1.
No.